Chris, Tidjane Thiam has said he would like to forego some of his bonus. What kind of banker is this guy?
Well, indeed, cue the world's smallest violin. He's asked for a cut in his bonus as an act of solidarity. But actually, as of yet, we're not quite sure whether the solidarity is with his colleagues who have also suffered a fall in their bonus pool, or whether it's with long-suffering shareholders who have seen Credit Suisse's equity touch a multi-decade low very recently. Nevertheless, it's worth pointing out that last year they had a cut in their bonus pool, the CEO and the board. So it's probably reasonable to assume, we don't know what he's going to be paid this year, but he was under pressure to cut anyway.
Given what had happened before, it would have been hard for him to harvest a big bonus when the stock is at a 24-year low.
Indeed it would be. And it is worth pointing out, however, that based on 2014 figures, the variable pay of the CEO is about 3/4 of his total package.
Okay, so last year, of course, Tidjane is new.
Yes.
We are on a first name basis. He's new at Credit Suisse. The last guy was paid how much last year?
He was paid about 9.7 million Swiss francs.
Yeah, so even in a bad year, the compensation for this job is
healthy.
And he is potentially making a serious sacrifice of some kind, at least relative to history. I wonder, however, whether we are focusing too much on the CEO's pay at Credit Suisse, and maybe we should look more at compensation in general at Credit Suisse, and whether it's sort of in the right range.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see, well, according to Morgan Stanley, from about 2006 to 2014, CEO pay at the top European and American banks, of course Credit Suisse would be one, has declined by on average round about a third.
Yes. So not as much as the stocks.
Not as much as the stocks, but at least heading in the right direction, contrary to public perception.
Yes.
However, the total compensation of, if you take the staff as a block and look at that relative to net revenues, is still pretty high.
Yeah, in the 40s.
Well in the 40s, and at peer UBS indeed, I think higher still. So shareholders might do better to focus on that rather than what the top dogs do.
Yeah, so in general, the banks need to sort of compress total compensation. I mean, we're talking about what was the return on equity at Credit Suisse last year?
It was about 4%.
Which means in real economic terms, they're probably destroying value. So they need to compress the total compensation pie. Is that the basic picture here?
That is exactly it.
Thanks, Chris.